quorum, so I'll call us into order. So thank you. First item is conflicts of interest. Would you declare those to Connie? Come on. All right.
And
And the
Dan
next item
Mitchgate,
is our
Dallas
public
ISD.
comment. I have Tara Nunn from Equus. Dan is, yeah, conflicted. Go ahead, Tara.
As Carter said, my name is Tara Nunn. I am the project director for Equus Workforce Solutions. And I have with me Nicholas Threlkel, who is our performance director. Since December's MPR, where we were missing 10 contractual measures, I wanted to proudly update you all to let you know in June's MPR, we are now only missing 2 measures. And so super proud of the extra effort of the team, which is here with us today. We worked through some challenges, but no excuses. We got the job done, and we are still working, making every effort to continue to impact performance. Although the youth measures are not captured in the MPR, we are also doing pretty well there. Our predictive data shows that we're only missing 1 measure on the youth side, and we're still working to bring that into meeting status. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to let you all know about all the progress that we've made, because we do take performance very seriously. Did you want to say anything, Nick?
Yeah. I know I spoke months before about our performance and being able to quarterback this thing. And I just want to say with all of our team here today that I really appreciate you all's effort. I appreciate your devotion. I appreciate the long hours. And then I also appreciate the board's support. So with that, we're going to continue with our performance and continue to change lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tara and Nick, thank you for your comments. And, it reminded me that the definition of, when you were speaking, Tara, the definition of integrity is doing the right thing when no one's watching. And so I really applaud you for completing the task and being here today. Thank you. I have no further comments, so we will move into our consent agenda on page 8. Okay, the first item in the consent agenda is the minutes. Let's just call a vote on that. Okay, Ken. Second, Jason. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Minutes pass. All right, next item. Well, policy adopting state rule. These are TWC policies that we don't have any local control over, so it's just a formality that we vote those in. So I would take a recommendation that we accept those. A motion. All right, Ken, and a second. Second, Joanne. Any discussion on those items? All right, all in favor, aye. Anyone opposed? All right, contract amendments. Is anyone going to speak to this? Okay, would you?
Item C on page 12 is contract amendments. And as you all know and voted, we will be moving our workforce center contractor over to C2 Global beginning October 1st. And you'll hear from Shakib Shahadi, president and CEO of C2 Global later in the meeting. Now, our workforce contract with Equus runs through September 30th, and we have some TANF, temporary assistance for needy families, funding available that expires October 31st. So we want to go ahead and infuse the community with these funds. We have funds in TANF, that's $750,000, and in non-custodial parent, that's a subset of TANF money for parents who are behind in child support, another $55,871. And we are asking the board to approve contracting this money to Equus with the understanding that if they don't spend it all by September 30th, we can contract the remainder to C2 Global for October.
Pardon my naivete, but what are we doing when we say adds to the current contract? Is that all it really is?
It adds to the contract with Equus, and they're doing wonderful work in TANF. So if you remember, at our June board meeting, we were at the Omni, and there was also a TANF event there at the same time we were having our board meeting. I can tell you that from that event, 21 participants secured employment. We had 60 participants took the financial literacy class facilitated by PNC Bank. Over 25 participants were able to get haircuts and styled for free. 100 participants took the resume and interviewing class facilitated by Dawn Carter of the CART Group. And the city of Dallas did a presentation on how to apply for jobs within the city. So it's all about putting those participants back to work. Yes. Yes, that's just an example.
Okay, can I get a motion on this? All right, Ken. Second? All right, thanks, Rebecca. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, that passes. All right, external grants, can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. You'll see quite a listing of external grants this month. Of course, we didn't have a board meeting last month, so we're playing a little bit of catch up here, bringing these to you. These are grants that we're supporting for our partners. We may have written a letter of support on most of these. You'll see a lot of them are TWC grants. The first one here is for Dallas College partnering with Uplift Education to offer healthcare training, which, as we've talked about in our board meetings, we really do want to support that endeavor. So we find value in that grant along with the rest on this chart, and we're just asking you to approve supporting those grant opportunities.
Okay, anyone have any questions or discussion on that item? If not, then I'll call for a motion. Okay, thank you, Jason. And could I get a second? And Bill? And I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. We're going to back up. I forgot, Lynn Hoffman has a small presentation, and evidently she has some more hardware, so.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Hoffman, Senior Innovation Manager with Workforce Solutions Greater Dallas. I'm proud to present to the board the 2025 Workforce Excellence Award that was presented to us for the second year in a row. Unprecedented to get this award 2 years in a row, but this is from the Texas Economic Development Council. We received this award in June for our partnership with Google in their data centers for the Google Star Fiber Optic Initiative. Through this initiative since 2023, we've been able to train 42 individuals, including 8 veterans that have received OSHA 10 training, fiber optic certifications, forklift certifications, and many other that are in demand for this particular occupation. 29 of those 42 have gained employment with many different employers and subcontractors that are building those data centers in our area. We have an over 70% completion rate as well. Through these efforts, we've been able to create real careers, not just jobs. We've stayed in touch with these individuals, and they're very grateful for the support that we've been able to provide through this grant with Google Data Centers. We really look forward to the next step. We've been in contact with them. We're looking at expanding the program, and I just wanted to present this to you all and say congratulations.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. put that in our treasury. I just want to point out that this award is particularly important because I've spent some time in economic development, and it's an undefined term. What is economic development? Well, most people think that that's development means building something, and Dupree might agree with me on that. However, nothing happens until somebody gets a job. And so really it's all about employment. And so to get an award from an economic development group is particularly special for workforce, because really it's about employment. And I had the joy of seeing these people being trained in our Redbird office. And the room was filled, and here were these guys and ladies learning about how to program and work in a data center for Google. And we're training them, and they're getting jobs, and it's happening right there at Redbird. So that's exciting when you get to see it all come together, how the sausage is made. So congratulations. Thank you for applying for that and getting that award again. All right, we'll move into the Finance Committee. I think we will talk about the audit and some really good news there. So, Bessie, can you hear us?
I can now. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Bessie.
Okay, as I said, good morning. Kevin is here, right? Is there?
Michelle Buss is here. Kevin was
Okay, okay. I'm sorry, Michelle, you will do a fantastic job. So I just wanted to introduce Michelle, the company that did our audit, and we have great news, but you should have copies of the financials of the audit in your packet. She'll give us a short presentation to walk us through it, and then we'll proceed from there. So take it away, Michelle.
Thank you. I'm Michelle Buswick Crow, and we are the external auditors for Workforce Solutions. As Bessie said, we do have good news. Our audit focuses mainly on 3 areas: the audit of the financial statements, the audit and the audits of the federal and state single audits, so the grants. We have issued unmodified opinions on all 3, and I'll get into that in a moment. We did meet with the Audit and Finance Committee on July 29th and had a robust conversation with them and presented these financials to them. Going back to the financial statements, our audit did not, it was an unmodified opinion, as I said, which is the highest level of assurance that we can give. And this means that the books and records of Workforce Solutions is materially in agreement with the financial statements. The financial statements are materially correct. One thing of note there too, we had no audit adjustments in those financial statements. So this means that those underlying records, in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, have been materially correct and materially correct all year. So we can have audit adjustments and still issue an unmodified opinion. However, in this case, we did not have to. The books and records were correct as they were. Regarding the federal and state single audits, we look at in audit the internal controls and the compliance over those federal and state grants. And again, we issued unmodified opinions. We had no findings, no deficiencies. Those were all correct, and we had nothing to report on that. So that's very good news. Everything was in proper order, and our opinions were unmodified, as I had stated. So I'm happy to entertain any questions on the conduct of the audit.
Any questions from the board? Okay, it's about this time that you, with me, take a great big breath. Because every board I've ever served on, Karen, has to go find their funds has to find an auditor, get their books audited, and hope that it comes out. Well, guys, congratulations. And to staff, thank you very much, the finance group and compliance group. You guys are doing a fabulous job, and it makes us as directors, our job much easier when you do your job. So thank you very much. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Okay.
With that,
Bessie, are you going to talk about insurance?
I am. I'm going to talk about the renewal, and I will have Ashley give us more information about the topics that we talked about in the committee. As you shove her the microphone, I see you. So Ashley, take it away on the items that we discussed in the committee.
Yes, thank you, Bessie. And thank you, Michelle and team. All right, you should all have a schedule of insurance in your handouts this morning. And I'm happy to report that what we have listed here is very similar to what we've seen in prior years. This includes our property insurance, our general liability, cyber, directors and officers, which I know you all care tremendously about. And there's not a total premium amount listed, but I can tell you that the total for all of this coverage is $188,714 for the year. That's an increase from last year of about $13,000 or 7.4%. And included in that increase is one additional coverage that we have not had previously. And that coverage is a little over $9,000, making that delta just for increase in prices 2.1%, which is very reasonable. The additional coverage that we've added this year, and all of this insurance began July 1st. And we run July 1st through June 30th on all of this liability insurance. The additional coverage is for deadly weapon protection. It's unfortunate that we live in a time where that's even such a thing, but our insurance broker educated us in that this is a policy. It's relatively new. It's been around about 10 years and really suggested that it's the time that we go ahead and dip our toe in the water with this coverage. One of the most beneficial pieces of this coverage is the training involved. We're currently going through risk assessments with our provider. I think it'll be great for staff, and it covers all of our centers. Should a deadly weapon be brought into the center, it covers our board office and it covers our events. So our board meetings, our job fairs, and a small price to pay for the training that comes in the partnership with Beasley, who is our provider. Beasley is also our cybersecurity provider, and the Dallas board was the first board in the state of Texas out of all 28 that began securing cybersecurity insurance. So we're a pioneer in the insurance area, and we think it's time to go ahead and add that deadly weapon protection.
And I'll say that even though it's called deadly weapon, most companies have some type of workplace violence training or prevention that they provide to all of their employees. And so this is, the name may be a little starking, but the intent of what the coverage provides is something absolutely is the norm today.
Just a couple of quick questions. What is excess crime?
So the crime coverage is our bond liability, and we have a coverage at the maximum in our traditional crime coverage, but based on our budget and the amount of money that we need to draw from TWC, we had to layer on top excess crime because TWC has a rule that we cannot draw down more funds than we have on that bond liability coverage in any given day. So especially with all the child care money we receive, there are weeks we have to draw down in excess of $5 million just for child care. So in order to be able to also pay our workforce provider, we had to include that additional coverage probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, and then the other question is, I hate to personalize this, but are we covered, indemnified under executive lines?
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Generally, what is the claim history? Do we have many claims?
No, I can only think of maybe one claim in the time that I've been here in 10 and a half years. Typically what I see is more property damage, and we notify our insurance just in case something else should happen. But typically we end up paying for it out of our grant money because it's less than the deductible.
So I'm very impressed with the services that are provided in other boards I serve on by Marsh McLennan, but how often do we go out to bid for?
Great
broker
question.
services?
Every 4 years, and we just went out for bid on them at the beginning of this calendar year. Did I get that right? So you all voted on Marsh for another 4 years. This is year 1.
Okay, so we have 2 items under the Finance Committee. I will call for a recommendation that we accept the Finance Committee reports on the audit and the insurance.
So moved.
Who moved?
Dan Mitchkay.
Okay, all right. So moved, second. Can we second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Ken. All right, so we're through with the Finance Committee. Thank you, Bessie, for your work on that.
Welcome.
And great, great action there. All right, so we'll move over to the action items on page 16. Before we do that, Harry, we need to form a committee. And would you take us through that real quick?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to do a nominating committee, form one for our next upcoming round of appointments with our dear friend Carter, potentially, possibly, probably taking his running off into the sunset. I've asked several people, and they've all accepted. Ken Malcolmson to chair, Dan Mitchkay, Joanne Caruso, the 2 Bills, Bill O'Dwyer and Bill Barrett, have all said yes. And this committee would be formed for the purpose of identifying, vetting, making sure, and finalizing a slate of candidates to be presented to you. And so, yes, with that, I'm announcing that they've agreed to serve, and we've appointed them.
Okay, thank you. Ken, can we call a vote on that, or we need to vote? So moved. Thank you, Harry.
You're welcome.
So I will address my plans. I will be rolling off of the board September 30th. That's scheduled. So if you are thinking something happened or something's going, nothing. I retired from NEC in June fully, and I felt really strongly that members of this board should be either in the community or employers, and no longer working for an employer. I felt compelled that it was best to leave this seat for somebody else. And so I contacted the judge, and they'll be appointing someone as my term expires September 30th. I don't like to use the word expired, by the way, but nonetheless. So Harry, thank you for that. And we will call for a vote on the officers next board meeting. Okay? All right. Now, take us to page 16 before I expire.
Good morning. On page 17, I'll cover procurement and as well as policy. We issued a procurement for broker for real estate leasing services. We issued that on July 17th and a due date of August 7th. We received 4 timely and responsive proposals from CBRE, Jones Lang LaSalle, Robert Lynn Company, as well as Site Selection Group. All of the proposals were reviewed by evaluators, and it was based on the criteria of scope of services, demonstrative competence, and qualifications experience. All proposals that were read scored above 30. So the highest scoring proposal was CBRE. So that would be our recommendation, is to issue a letter of authorization to CBRE to represent WFSDallas in real estate leasing. In the event CBRE fails in responsibility according to terms and conditions of the letter of authorization to perform services, board authorization to proceed with the second highest scoring proposal. Any questions? Second was JLO. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. They were very good proposals.
I'll make a motion. Hey, could I get a second? Discussion on the real estate.
I know it's hard for you guys to keep tossing the mic, but we really can't hear anything that you're saying if you're not holding the mic.
Understood. Thank you. Okay, the next item is policy briefing. We're looking at the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act policy. This is looking at high poverty geographic areas. We presented this policy to the Achievement Alliance Committee earlier this month. This is for WIOA youth eligibility. A youth living in poverty automatically is considered low income. So what we did was we reviewed 2023 U.S. Census data, and we took off the ones, took off or removed the zip codes that were under 25%, or over 25%, I'm sorry. So if you look at the right-hand column, you'll see the new zip codes, and we also indicated the ones that are removed. So it's just basically updating the policy based on U.S. Census code. Any questions?
Okay, we're now a two-mic family. So we'll take a motion on that item. Okay, Karen, you're going to make a No, you're not. Karen, did you? Yes, all right. Someone other than Ken second it? Someone that knows Robert's rules. Okay, Joanne. All right, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? There. All right, we will now move into closed session. For our audience, apologize. We have a couple of business items we need to cover in closed session. We will be back with you shortly. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move us back into open session. Ken, you can be seated. Okay, just a short briefing. We discussed a real estate matter in closed session. And it is customary that legal matters and matters regarding real estate and contracts that are under negotiation can be discussed in closed session. So we did that. We also got an update on our executive search for the next CEO. So with that, we're back in open session. And our first item under information and updates is from C2 Global. And Shakib, would you, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you all hear me? Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members, Ms. Werner, board staff. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Shakib Shihadi. I'm the president of C2 Global Professional Services. I have a very brief presentation. I was told I have only this many minutes, so I will go through it. And please, if you have any questions, we provided you with a copy. C2 Global Professional Service is 15 years old, still a teenager in the greater scheme of things. Excited to be here. On page 2, you can see right there, all of us started here in Texas, and we're still all in Texas. This is where all our executive team and owners reside. We have 12 members. That's the second page, please. And I'll go through this, as I said. People, I'm excited to be associated with amazing people, good people who care about what they do. And I have some of them right here with me. Please, will you all stand? This is the C2 GPS team that was able to come with me today. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. This is the group that gets it done every day. It's been an amazing ride. Just as a point, and I need to say it simply because it's important, of the 12, 6 of them were original members when we started this. They're still here, and the other 6 all were promoted from within. So this is really exciting, and we all look forward to working with you. I'll go on to the next page very quickly. Page 4, it's where we are. We look forward to work with you. Dallas is right there now. We added you onto the map. That's it. There is no going back. Once we put it on the map, that's it. We're in. So we appreciate you. Thank you. This is something I want to, if you go to page 5, and we're always asked, so how do you operate? What happens? What do you do? The 6 pillars here that we're listing, I'm sorry, I keep touching this microphone. The 6 pillars here are very important to us. This is how we conduct ourselves every day, and I'll touch upon them very briefly, and certainly I'll take any questions you have. Invest in staff. We all know it's important to invest in staff. Things change around us, policies change. You just voted on a new change today. So, and I remember many years ago when I started in this endeavor, somebody told me, welcome to workforce. You know what you're getting into. I'm like, I have no idea, but I'm ready. So I realized investment in staff is critical. It's important. You've got to give them the tools and resources so that they can go back and deliver to the community. The second one is incentivize the staff. I believe in it particularly, there's always this thing about we all get paid to do what we have to do. Well, that's nice. Thank you. Appreciate it. But every once in a while, recognizing somebody doesn't hurt. And we do that a lot. And I'm really proud of it. The other one is communications. It is part of our values. If you go back to page 1, it's in there and it's in here again. and it's in multiple places for a reason. That was a deliberate decision. We've got to talk. We've got to share information. We've got to lean on each other. We have so many partners. And to all of you here who are partners of the workforce, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. It matters. We look forward to working with all of you. Talk, discuss, and talking and communicating is even more important when things are not going well, when everybody has the tendency to want to retract and go hide somewhere. We don't do that. We're going to be open, we're going to be frank, and we're going to come to you and to all our partners. We will lean on anybody who wants to come and jump in and help this community grow. Technology. We have a couple slides toward the end. I won't linger on that too much. We've been investing so much for a long time in technology. And I remember the day when my two folks who really poke me all the time, and sometimes they irritate me. It's like, Shakib, can we have money? I'm like, how much more money can I give you? You've just spent half of the money we earned. But looking back, it was an amazing investment because I caved in eventually and I gave them all the money they asked. Today, we have tools and resources that we put on our staff's hands so that they can do better. You'll see a couple of slides toward the end. Analytics. We have a lot of data in this system. We have so much data, I don't think it's funny anymore. If we can just handle what we got, we're going to be fine. But we have data, we can analyze, we can look at trends and processes and systems and see where we're going, where we're not going. But this is too much, so we need to bring it down to something that we can actually utilize. We're doing this. And along the same, we are holding ourselves accountable because we have so much that we can play with, look at, decipher. So we go back and demand rigor in whatever we do. And this is going to be the theme. Last but not least, and again, thank you so much to all the partners. Thank you. You're really appreciated. I just want to touch upon something quickly here before I leave partnership. We just got 2 awards, not 1, 2 from the Texas Veteran Commission for working with their business service team. So we're really proud of that. And if it is anything else, it's a testament of our commitment to working with all the partners. I won't go on that too long. Customer-centered, we believe in preparing our teams so that they can deliver exceptional service every day, every interaction. Business service, we've done that well since we started the sector industry. And I remember many years ago, I was in Florida when we started operating in Florida. And what happened is that I was watching an event going on, and it was all this business, this sector-based business strategies. And we were all in awe, and we decided this is the way to go. So since we've implemented this and focused on our main businesses, on the driver of the communities, we've seen a jump, not only in better paying jobs and better placements. So this is something we're going to be working on with you and your team and all our community partners so that we can see amazing results for our customers. We're fairly stable organizationally and financially. As I told you, the 12 wonderful people that I deal with every day and the hundreds behind them, good, wonderful people. It's really a pleasure. And somebody said, I didn't invent this one, somebody said, when you go to work and you're having a good time, it's not work. I don't feel like I go to work. It's a real pleasure to sit down with my colleagues and just talk about everything and come up with solutions. And sometimes they say things that I have no idea what they're talking about. But I'm like, it sounds good. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I mean, I do have 2 of them that are always, Shakib, this new AI tool came out. I'm like, I don't want to know. How much do you need? That's how I start my conversation because there's no explaining it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just, it's not, I'd made a mistake. I went to law school. Go figure. So I'm not going to go there. I know my place. So anyways, we're good. We are clean. Our last audit, we shared it with Ashley and the team. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Why C2? Well, you're probably wondering because you're probably looking for an address somewhere. Said, okay, so where you guys located? Well, don't be Googling nothing because C2 doesn't have corporate offices. You Google anything, you're gonna fall on my wife's house. And she won't like it. So I'm just giving you guys heads up. We don't have a corporate office, and it's by design. We travel, we go visit. Where is our office? In the centers. We will be hanging out with the people who are getting it done day in and day out, supporting them, talking to them, engaging them, knowing right then and there. Remember I said communications earlier? That's right. I don't need nobody to pass the message to me. I want to hear it myself. When we are in town, we all rotate. We have a schedule, we rotate. I'm in town. I will be kind. I'll tell Ashley, Ashley, I'm in town, but I ain't coming to visit you unless you need me, because I'm at the center. I'm going to be in Grand Prairie, in Irvine, in Redbird. That's where I will be. So that's how we operate. That's where our offices are. We believe in that engagement. Our job is not easy. And I know I need to wrap it up for you. I started as a case manager many years ago, and I became a supervisor. It was very painful, and I'm a monitor. That got even more painful, and a deputy director, and a director, and all that stuff. Dealing with people is simply just not easy. I guess I can say it very nicely. It's not. So we need to be close to the people who are getting it done every day, day in and day out, and remind them that, one, thank you for being here, and two, what do you need from me? How can I make it happen for you so you can go out there and be the best at delivering the services? So, and that's what we're going to do. We believe in collaboration. I said it again. We're proud to have partners all over, whether it's in Florida, in Nevada, or Texas, wherever we are. We love our partners. Training and development, we believe in it. We make great investments, and we're still making a lot of investment in training and development. As you all know, for the last few years, we've had some data issues. The next one is basically our dashboard, which we developed many years ago. As soon as we heard that Twist is going away, remember, I have two very sharp, visionary people on my team. Those are the ones that always like come to me for money. So they were seeing something, and I had no idea. I'm like, I don't see that. What do you mean Twist is going away? Because I started when Twist came on board. And I remember those years where for a good 2 years, we were having a system that was not properly functioning. For those of us who have been in the system, we remember that. They had to work the kinks for almost 2 years. So they anticipated the same thing. That's why we invested in this dashboard, which guide us and tell us how we're doing in as real time as possible. Remember, you still got to get the data from a system, from somewhere. So we use the dashboards to assess our effort, our work. And we also have a very interesting quality assurance system that we developed that let us see trends across our system, because sometimes the problem is isolated, other times it's a misunderstanding. We did not interpret the policy properly, or we applied it improperly. So those will show up when we do our analysis and our quality assurance reviews. It's all in one system. Then we can dissect it, look at it, and draw a lot of conclusions so that we can better prepare our staff to deliver on our commitment. Last but not least, that's the other investment. Those are the fine two people who actually I tested some of them. I'm impressed. I'm really, truly impressed. And I'm like, this is cool. As you all know, just for your information, and most people who are in workforce know this, you sit down with someone and you develop what we call an employment plan. It can take anywhere from 30, 45 minutes to an hour sometime, depending on the complexity, the background of the individual, their experience, and what have you. So they sent me this little tool. It's like, Shakib, just try this. I'm like, Sure, you picked the wrong person to try a technology, but it's like, just try it. So I typed in, I want to be a nurse. And it just developed for me within like 15 seconds a plan to be a nurse based on my current background experience. I'm like, wow, this is really nice. It will not replace the people because we still need to go back. I had to take this document, look at it, and say, there's a couple mistakes here that I need to clean up. But guess what it will do? It will potentially, when we implement it fully, shave 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. So we can actually focus on value tasks, things that are not repetitive by nature, and we can take care of our customers. So this is all in pilot phase testing because we can't do nothing. We have to come to you because you have to approve this and allow us to host it somewhere. So once we get to that point, we will approach you and we'll start the discussion. But this is, in essence, very, I guess, very brief. I'm sorry. I didn't want to take more time than I was allocated. Again, thank you so much for your time. Yes, sir.
Any questions for Shakib? So if any of you show up in the hospital and I show up as a nurse, you'll know what happened.
Mr. Chair, I kept my day job. It was actually a mistake, Secretary of State. It was not a C2, it was a C squared, C to the power of 2. But what I found out when I went, and my counsel came back, she's like, they can't do square on their computers. I'm like, I want square. What's wrong with that? Go tell the Secretary of State I need square. Like, they can't do square. I'm like, okay, whatever, put whatever. It came up C2. That's the story of C2.
Many years ago, I attended some employment training, and one of the things they asked for or presented to us was, what do you look for in a candidate? What's the one thing? And I remember them talking about, well, everyone raised their hand, integrity. Integrity, that's the one thing. And the presenter said, well, you're really not going to be able to determine that in a 30-minute interview, right? He said, I've never had anyone tell me I don't have integrity, you should hire me. Right? Quite the opposite. Everybody says they have it. And so while that is primarily what you're looking for, it's hard to judge, right? And second is execution. I want somebody who can execute, right? But the presenter said this was the most important thing, ability to communicate. So Shakib, I say that to you. Thank you for bringing your team here. Thank you for presenting to us. Continue to communicate to this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chair, I want to very quickly, please, I want to thank the board staff for facilitating the transition the last couple of months now. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Equis team. Thank you for also helping us transition smoothly. It takes a whole lot of good people to get it done, and I just want to say thank you.
All right. Richard, there he is. All right.
Very close. Good morning, and I will go quickly, but my name is Richard Perez. I'm the Senior Research and Data Manager with the board. And on page 19, I'm going to touch on the economic snapshot for this month. So Texas labor participation year over year continues to be strong. June 25 is a little less than June 24. However, it is still one of the strongest Texas labor participations on record. Just a little factoid, the DFW MSA has gained over 1 million jobs, 1,027,600 in non-farm employment since July 2014. 11 years, over 1 million jobs. That's quite an achievement. Dallas and Dallas County and Texas. UI claims have increased over the month. And I think they're going to continue to increase a little bit. The continued claims have showed some activity, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. Something new I added is new UI claims by industry. And this is for just Dallas County from January, from June 24 through July for a full year. Most of the UI claims come from the administration and admin support industry. And what that is all kinds of professional and services, non-professional services like building cleaning and lawn maintenance, but employment services, temporary help, all that is bunched in to that industry. And there's just a lot of claimant activity. Something else I added was the top 10 job openings for the last 12 months, and then a history. Something new I did was put the median wages just to see what the top jobs are paying. I think that's good for the economy, to see the people we're training, to see the type of employment they can obtain. But I'll stop there and see if there's any questions, and then I'll just touch on the NPR. Okay, so the NPR starts on the next page. Oh, yes. Sure.
Sorry. Is it an outlier that admin and support would be that high this time when it comes to unemployment insurance claims?
It's an enormous industry. These are 2-digit NAICS codes, and that is one of the largest in Dallas County. There is all kinds of activity in there. A lot of it's driven by employment services, temporary help agencies, that kind of thing. So it's not typically an outlier. If I were to run that for any time period, that would more than likely be the largest. But I just wanted to give an idea of what kind of claims are out there. Okay, so page 20, the NPR, Tara pretty much said it all. Tara and Nick this morning. The last time we met in June, the NPR report showed we were missing 6 measures. The report in this, we're only missing 2. The increase, they were all in measurable skills gain and credential obtainment, which are huge. Those are based on job training. Some additional information was found, and the Equus team entered it, and it's now showing as meeting. I look forward to seeing some of the improvements in youth and everything else throughout the year, but I'd be happy to entertain any questions related to the NPR.
Well, before we throw the party,
Yes.
as I cruise through these, and this is for our board to look at it, just notice the rank. And I want to make it clear to Shakib and others that this board is not satisfied to be ranked 23rd, 24th, 27th. We're not satisfied with that. So please continue to work on performance, and we look forward to the day when we'll see us ranked in the highest of all these categories. All right, any other questions for Richard? All right.
Thank you.
Dan, go ahead, Dan. Dan, I think you're muted. Okay, we'll move along. Rebecca?
Good morning. I'm Becky Manette, the Quality Manager and EO Officer for the board. If you'll turn to page 35, I'm just going to give a brief update on the monitoring done by our external monitor, Christine Wynn. The Dallas College AEL program review and the Equus WIOA review are complete with no major findings. The Dallas College Youth Fiscal Review and Program Review are complete and pending the report. The 3 AEL fiscal reviews, actually program reviews for Irving ISD, Richardson ISD, and Wilkinson Center are completed and also awaiting the final report on those. And the 2 fiscal reviews, one for Equus and one for Child Care Group, are ongoing at this time. Are there any questions?
Go to committee reports and
We had 2 Rebeccas back to back. Pardon the confusion. The Achievement Alliance Committee met on August 13th. We've got some exciting updates. A few months ago, a few board meetings, this board asked the staff to take a look at doing something different on outreach and how to engage community members and look for customers who would need our services who weren't going. So we had a few exciting updates, including a presentation from Groundwork, an organization that started in DFW that we have launched a partnership with. They Groundwork started in DFW. They go door to door, apartments, community events, laundromats to directly reach people. They also specifically hire individuals from the neighborhoods they are trying to reach. They are addressing 3 problems. One is lack of community awareness, which is, hey, did you know that this program exists? 2, what does the community really want? So this is a way to differentiate from the handful of people who may show up to a meeting or are the loudest on social media and get a true picture of what the community is really asking for. And 3, low enrollment, understanding, hey, if we're offering this free service, but we can't figure out why no one is using it. So as part of the Workforce Solutions campaign overview, the main goal is to look at who we are currently serving versus serving everyone versus serving who shows up. So this is looking at the people who are currently using the services versus those who should be based on income, need, and area of service. We are going to start with 3 to 5 centers, have a control group and benchmark data. This will include focus groups, going door to door, different ways to reach people and we'll be able to see the results, to see what the results are if there is an increase in foot traffic. We've also said if board members want to participate or be involved in the focus groups, you're welcome to do so. That is the first update. The second is we've heard you all about communications. We've come a long way from about a year ago. We have the organization has dedicated communication staff. They're doing an exceptional job. We are meeting the above benchmarks to keep the Google ads. We're above, the minimum is 5%. We're already exceeding it. We're having high conversion rates, upgraded the website media plan, much more in social media. We implemented, based on recommendations, customer feedback at workforce centers, which is QR codes posted throughout. The team has already started to receive positive feedback calling out specific employees, and the staff is going to take this further by getting permission from employees to share them in public channels, including Testimonial Tuesday. This is also to motivate employees who are doing an exceptional job to get them to keep doing that support. One other item of note is that we discussed from Connie a policy and performance update. So currently, we participate in something called the WIOA Self-Sufficiency Act. It's funding that we receive to help get people into higher paying jobs. Currently, Dallas County, we have a very low, this board has a low rate of $13.59. So we currently serve only individuals through this program who are making under $13.59. And the staff recommends, and we agreed to move that dollar amount up to $18.50 an hour, which means we can serve people making up to $18.50 an hour. This is aligned with many of the larger counties. We were among the lowest figures in the state. So the committee accepted the staff recommendation of doing at least 1850, and then looking at the staff to examine the impact and see if we need to bump it up further to, for example, the dollar amount for Travis County. So this is not going to cost extra. This is an existing pool of funds. We're changing the eligibility to bring in more people to use the service. And we've discussed performance updates. And as you all can see in your packets, there are some upcoming events and career fairs, and we hope you can share those. Thanks. Any questions?
Point one. I keep forgetting about it. Sorry. It's on point one. So first off, that's really encouraging to sort of hear. We're trying to get that qualitative insight that and the notion of sort of a control group and a focus. So that's awesome. So first, is there a firm that we're using to actually do that work?
Yes, so this was all through, we hired 2 meetings ago, we were extending a contract. This board put a pause and we discussed how to use the funds in different ways.
Right.
So staff took that, started speaking to other people, including this organization, which is Groundwork DFW.
You've answered the question. I don't have any
Yes.
more questions.
Yes, that's who it is. So that's the firm.
The reason why I stopped at that point, one, it's so awesome to see staff, again, like, let's get creative, let's figure out ways that we could deploy these funds in perhaps an even more strategic way. The other reason why is because, so Dallas ISDs, they were trying to figure out how to increase pre-K enrollment, eventually got on the ground through Groundwork DFW, and those numbers have gone up pretty significantly because of that human-centered design, understanding what's not working for those that are not using it, and then super encouraging. Great.
That's who it is. As Miguel mentioned, this is the firm that does enrollment for pre-K, has done on increasing WIC enrollment as well. So they've definitely worked on a lot of other campaigns.
Thank you for your report. Two noteworthy things. One, this board did its job. And two, staff listened. And three, a committee is reporting back to the board. That's what's supposed to be happening. Thank you, Rebecca. Fantastic work. All right. Speaking of fantastic work, Karen Hughes on our Child Care Committee.
Okay, great. The Child Care Advisory Committee, we met on August the 12th last week. Some of the major things we went over, there were some policy briefings sent out by TWC in July and August, so we reviewed those. We also went over the board contract year. The 2026 allocations for us were released August the 11th. So basically, our base allocation for childcare will be increased by 6.5%. However, there's the good news and the bad news. That will also, our average number of children that we will be expected to serve will go down from 15,284 to 12,987. The reason for that is as you increase quality and get more of the centers on the TRS system at the different higher levels, which is a good thing because it's quality care, the higher you go up with that, the more that costs. So if you have the same amount of the money that you get as a base allocation, then you're looking at paying more per child because of the increase in quality. So therefore you serve less children. And that's just the math. The quality dollars that we will be getting will also go up because it's a percentage of the base allocation. So they will go up some. We did discuss the $100 million that was given in the Texas legislature to add more scholarships. We have found out that they have released that that's going to be divided over 2 years. We'll get some of it in 2026 and the rest in 2027. The TW estimates that that's about 10,000 children, 5,000 each for that amount of money. That sounds like a lot of money, 100 million, but when you divide that over the state, we're not sure exactly how many of those 5,000 will come to us. But again, we will get some, just as a thing to remember, there's right now 9,132 families on the Dallas waiting list. So that will help a little bit, but it won't make a big dent in that. So the other thing to remember that I reminded the committee of, this money is not new money that was given to childcare that will continue. This money for this 100 million was actually excess that was not spent, I believe, in the TANF program. And so they just moved it over to childcare, but that doesn't mean that it will always be there. It means that we'll spend it for 2 years, be happy to do so. But we got to keep in mind that that money is not just going to continue to add to the budget for childcare. Again, I talked about that. The biggest conversation, again, continues to be the major issues with providers with the TX3C database system. It is still not working correctly. It is causing major problems across the state. I've been on some other calls with providers and people across the state, and it is not getting any better. TWC supposedly is working on it. It's in their, they have to do it. It's their system, but it's difficult. And I again want to applaud Child Care Group for that they are representing us well, trying to do the best they can, making sure all our providers are taken care of and paid. But it is a hard, hard job right now, given the mess of the system. And there's not a lot we can do about that other than wait for TWC to get their act together on this. Any questions?
Thank you, Karen. I am really happy to hear about the moving of those dollars. I think in years past, when we get updates on the TANF outreach allocations and we break it down by the number of people using it, I think it's like 30 people in the county because of the rules. I saw that as such a waste of resources that could go to reaching many more. So love to chat about how to continue this transfer moving forward, and we'll talk later. Thanks. Thank you.
No, you have to talk to the state legislature. They're the ones that get to move it.
I do have one final question. I'll see if I can keep this to be my last question. Yeah, thank you. All right. It's the magic word for today. The most recent legislative session, full session, there was a governor's task force that was established on improving the early childhood flow within the state of Texas. That task force, I believe, is in the process of being formed. And I'm just wondering, do we have a sense as to sort of how we intend on either staying up to date on the conversations that are happening as that task force does its work, and or any strategy we or the bigger workforce might have in trying to get someone placed on that task force?
I am not aware, Ashley. No, I was on the committee to do the workforce staffing strategic plan. And that committee just wrapped up their work because it's got to be reported. That's not the same task force. So I have not heard who is going to be put on there, nor have I heard who is in charge of making those decisions.
I'm happy to send some information your way on some stuff, some analyses that we've done, but I think the goal of that is to figure out how do you make the system more efficient. But I 100% know that workforce is going to be a part of that conversation, given how many dollars flow through. They want to just at least stay up to date on the conversations that are happening.
Absolutely.
Roughly, and that we don't have a legislative committee. And so I would task this board to look at that in the next, say, October timeframe, to look at a legislative function for this board, because there are things and decisions being made in Austin that don't consider this $200 million budget, 28 workforce boards, TWC. We're waiting on them to make movement where we could have impact. So you bring up a great point. I challenge this board to see that through with the next leadership in October. All right, I think, yeah. one
I
more
just
thing.
wanted to answer Miguel's question about the task force. The governor is appointing people to the task force. I have inquired about how that appointment is take place, but I haven't heard anything else. So the governor's choosing who's on that task force.
Thank you. All right, we'll move. Thank you, Karen. We'll move to our last report on the governance committee, and Joanne, if you could take that.
Thank you, Carter. And real quick, so our next meeting is just in a couple of weeks. And since the board's last meeting, we have sent out a survey. Thank you for those who did fill it out. As of earlier this week, we have 18 of the board members. So there's still some remaining board members. If you could fill it out, we're getting some really great information. The committee will discuss that at its next meeting, and then we'll bring that back to the board hopefully in September. The other thing that we have done is we looked at the job description or board duties for the board and made that a little bit user-friendly and looked at that. And I think that's up on the website now. And so hopefully that will be useful for new board members that do join us. Thank you to the committee.
Joanne, once again, thank you for your work on the governance committee. Hearing no other new business, we'll close our session at 9:45. Thank you.